Hi everyone, this is Bobby from bn-games.com and we're here doing another classic capture. Today we're playing Dynamite Headdy for the Sega Genesis. Dynamite Headdy is a game by Treasure. If you don't know who Treasure is, you need to research. Treasure is a well-known developer, mostly known for their shoot 'em ups. It's, I guess, the most popular game they're known for is, well, on the Sega Genesis would be Gunstar Heroes, and on the Dreamcast, Ikaruga, which we've covered. Ikaruga.
Probably Ikaruga because it had an arcade and a GameCube release. I would say at least.
Well, the arcade, the Sega, the GameCube release.
Xbox
I mean, Xbox Live. Yeah, that would definitely be the more popular title.
And
I mean, it's look at what the cartridge, what the game goes for.
Yeah. Well, actually, one of the most expensive Sega Saturn games is actually Radiant Silvergun, which is the game before Ikaruga, which is made by Treasure as well. Treasure is a developer who they separated themselves from Konami. They were employees of Konami, and they split themselves off, and they made their own group, and they make their own games, whatever they want. Dynamite Headdy is actually a good example of Treasure trying to be creative, since they're really known for what could be amounted to mostly spaceship shooters. This is one of their first attempts at an action platformer. Gunstar Heroes was really popular in Sega Genesis. It was one of the first. I believe it might have been their first game as a publisher. This game was made as well, and it was on the Sega Genesis. And unfortunately, there wasn't a lot of marketing. There wasn't a lot of press about it, and it was highly overlooked, even though it's a Treasure game. Most Treasure games, no matter what they are, usually command high prices. You can pick this card up for $5 to $10, which is a shame, because it is a really, really good game. And basically, you go around with this, I don't know what you would call him.
He looks like he reminds me of Rayman.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah,
gonna say.
with the ability to throw his head instead of his fist.
Yeah, and the head is his primary weapon, and it is also used for platforming. You would grab onto things.
And that animal looks like something out of Animal Crossing.
It's a fusion of Pac-Man and Rayman.
Yeah.
He's Rayman.
Well, you see, the other thing is you get you get power-ups later that change his head. So you can get like a hammer and his attack is stronger, or you can get one that shoots like little fireballs comes out of his head. There's one that stops time. There are a number of power-ups, and you get them as time goes on. And as with every Treasure game, there are tons of bosses, and each of the bosses are actually puzzling for the most part. This one's really easy. You hit them in the head. But it's the beginning of the game. First little thing you encounter, like literally 2 or 3 minutes after the starting sequence, and it's a game full of bosses, full of very creative bosses, and the theme, although it might be hard to tell at first, I mean, especially since the cutting disc, is if he's playing on a theatrical stage. You'll notice, I mean, you kind of saw it happening in the back of this, but a lot of the stages are centered around like parts of the world just kind of coming into focus, like if you were switching backgrounds in a play, kind of thing. Right here is a mini game. You hit basketballs into hoops.
No, one thing I wanted to ask you about, actually, because I noticed that in the part before, and I don't want to throw you too much off, but I noticed that it seemed to be slowing down a little bit. Was that actually the case?
There sometimes is a little bit of slowdown because of how crazy it is, but then again, some of it is just the recording procedure to some extent.
Okay.
Yeah. And for the most part, it's slick. There's in fact, I would say I can't even recall anything where it's really slow or anything. It's very impressive looking. In fact, unfortunately, I don't think the video really conveys how good this game looks in person. I think it's lost a lot in that transition, or some games do. It's a very colorful game, and these colors just seem dull in comparison to how vibrant it is. And no, just in general, it's a great looking game, and it really pushed the Sega Genesis to what it can do. I really like a lot of the quasi 3D kind of things that happen. You know, they're simulated 3D effects. It's not actual 3-dimensional polygons. You'll see a little bit more of that here. But like I said, what this game is about, which most Treasure games, it's memory art. It's really about the bosses. Now, these are kind of lame compared to later. And the last boss I also mentioned has some crazy effects, but they're extremely difficult sometimes, especially when you're trying to figure out the pattern. This thing's really easy. Yeah, that's really impressive. You don't expect that. And I like the girl going, Target. It reminds me of the shmups.
This reminds me of kind of
Yep.
That's it's a weird game.
It's a giant hot dog. That's exactly what it is.
We need it. Now, like I said, this game didn't really make it. It wasn't super popular. It still even isn't today. I think it's mostly because most people don't really know about it. And you can pick it up for cheap, which, like I said, most treasure games go for a lot of money. So, if you have a Sega Genesis and you're looking for a game that can really test your platforming skills to some extent, because it can be kind of difficult. Most of the bosses. Oh, right there I have frozen time. And you notice it's just the power to go with the head. They do wear off, and you can eject them by pressing the A button. If you pick up a hammer, and for example, and you don't want to use the hammer, effect, you'll change it. And the idea is you're supposed to be getting these keys for the story. I cut out most of the intro, but basically his world was being attacked, and he was kidnapped, and now you're trying to, just like everything else, try to get past it. But yeah, pretty good. Especially since Treasure, their games are usually not platformers. It's nice to see. Although there are some shooting elements, there are some little shmup moments that are nice. And you expect that from them since they're the masters of it. I guess that's his love interest. At first, I thought it was a dude. I couldn't tell.
It is.
Dude.
Yeah, see, here's some more of that quasi 3D stuff it does.
Pretty impressive. It gives you good perspective.
Yep, and it works. Especially for the platform, they use it tastefully for the most part. Like I said, everything's a backstage, everything's a stage. This boss right here, it was a little bit of a pain in the ass to learn how to get past him. And right now, in this video, I'm showing mostly bosses for the most part because they're the most interesting parts for me. The platforming aspects are really short. In fact, most of the levels are really short. They're not very long. There are 9 levels with 3 or 4 segments each, and there's bosses sometimes at the beginning of the level, and then at the end, you'll just encounter something. I like this one. You have to take off the little parts before you can hit the center, and it's this was not the most original, but I think the way it animates and just the perspective. And unfortunately, like I said, the video really doesn't convey how good it looks. But that's I think that's my biggest problem. Well, keep telling the target. Why don't you hit it? Target.
I always knew those anatomy jokes were great.
This one is Mike's favorite.
Oh yes,
It's a slot machine. I don't know. It's just the controls are pretty easy. You can shoot your head in 8 directions. It does take a little getting used to. If you're using a first generation Sega Genesis pad, just a 3-button version, I'd probably recommend the 6-button version controller because I think it works better. The D-pad I think is better on that versus. But it works well in either realm. It's pretty easy to pick up. In the beginning of the game, there's a complete training simulator which will get you, which will basically show you what you need to know on how to use the game or how to play the game. You see you changing different powers there. This is one of my favorite parts.
Use a hammer.
Yeah, but you notice how it kind of changes the screen, and there's a lot of that. This right here is one of those quasi 3D boss moments. This was actually particularly hard. I had some trouble with this one. Stair wars. Yeah, actually, yeah, that's really good. There's a lot of metal slug right here, and he'll remove parts of it. Although I think the metal slug version is better, to be honest.
Pretty sure you can't actually do this in the left.
Alright everyone, well, that's Dynamite Headdy for the Sega Genesis. Not much more to say. Please subscribe and let us know what you think. Thank you.